All right.
in Mountain View, California.
Yeah. So it's nice and sunny.
Beautiful day. We've had a lot of rain this year.
It's been raining all week. Actually, it's been a drought up in Seattle, and it's been really nice all winter. And it's like, wow, you know, I lived down here for 33 years.
So you know the story.
Oh yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So who all are you? Why don't you?
I'm Patty Hamlin. I'm the lead public relations person for MSN TV.
No, we don't let PR people
I know.
sit in our radio.
Well, you can edit. Yeah.
No, we'll leave you in. So.
I'm Christy Duncan. I'm the program manager for Remote Record and MSN TV listings.
Oh wow, cool.
And I'm Jeff Rank. I was product planning manager for the MSN Remote Record service.
And so what is MSN Remote Record? And is this out yet? Is this something?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we released it in late February.
Okay.
So it is out. It's available to MCE users to use today.
MC is Media Center Edition?
Media Center Edition, yeah. Users of the Media Center Edition PCs.
Okay.
And to clarify on that, it's actually Media Center Edition 2005, so it's
yeah.
with the latest release of Media Center that came out.
Microsoft is famous for our long and boring names.
Isn't that lovely? But just to clarity, actually one of the things that Media Center did was they brought in some new APIs that actually was what enabled us to do Remote Record. So
oh, great.
You need the latest OS in order to use Remote Record.
Cool. And what does it do?
Remote Record, it basically enables you to, after installing a small client application on your Media Center PC, then from almost any PC in the world that has an internet connection, you sign in with your passport ID, okay. And you can go to TV listings at MSN and choose shows to record. You can either record a single show or record a series. And it leverages Messenger and alerts to actually send that request to your Media Center PC.
Wow.
And you get an acknowledgement back that either the request was successfully received, or if there's a conflict, you can also cancel your current request so that you keep whatever was already scheduled on your Media Center PC, or you can also choose to override. So if
so it's good for somebody like me. I'm down here away from home every 2 weeks, and
exactly.
So if a new show, if you told me about a new show that's playing tonight, I could actually call into my Media Center.
You could.
And tell it to start recording.
Yeah, it's perfect for people who are at work and they found out about a new show and they're not going to get home in time. They forgot to set their Media Center to pick up the show, or people who are traveling. It's ideal.
Yeah,
it's really quite a compelling application for Media Center users, and it's one that is highly anticipated, I think, by the Media Center community. So we were really excited to get it out the door.
Yeah. It's good for a busy Microsoft employee, right? You know,
very, very
can't get home to see 24 or see a basketball game or something. You just call home and record it. And
I like to think of it too as it's like when you need it, the value is huge. You may not need it every single day. You might have your recording scheduled, most of the stuff you want to watch, but when you hear about something, you're on the road, you're not at home. It's just very, very valuable to be able to quickly log in and schedule that to record and just know it's going to be there then when you get home.
Very cool. So are you going to show us this thing?
Sure.
Is it all working?
I think so. I'm just doing a quick test again.
Okay. So what kind of setup do we have here?
So what we're using right now is actually the machine over there in the corner is a Media Center 2005 edition PC.
Excellent.
And Jeff, if you want to go ahead and pull up the Media Center view,
sure.
Go into scheduled recordings. So that's a Media Center machine. What I have here is just a standard Dell laptop. And what I'm going to do is, as I said before, Jeff has already installed the application on the Media Center PC. It's a very small download, and as part of the installation and registration, essentially it creates a device passport ID for your Media Center PC. Okay. So that's how your Media Center PC has an identity. And as you do the installation, there's a small registration step with it, which then maps your passport account to that device. So your personal passport account.
Yeah, wow. That you use when you log in to passport check your Hotmail or to do any other.
So if this was my home Media Center, I could be anywhere in the world and still be able to get into this through my passport?
Okay, you're not getting in your Media Center exactly. Okay. All you're doing is you're setting up a relationship between your personal passport and a passport that's created for your Media Center, so that your when you go to the remote record application and set something to record, it knows where to send the message. Basically, that's what you're setting up when you download the application.
And one of the nice features actually with this release of Remote Record is that you can have multiple users mapped to a single PC, a single MCE PC. So in the example that, you know, mom, dad, brother, sister all want to map their passport ID accounts to that one device, they can all send requests back to their home media center PC.
Ooh, very cool.
So what I'm going to do here is I am actually signed in with my passport account, and I'm at TV listings, at the TV listings guide on MSN, which is tv.msn.com/tv/guide.
Okay.
And I'm viewing the grid, and I'm going to pick a show to record.
Where's your mouse? Sorry.
I'm right here. So what I did is I clicked on Celebrity Justice on the guide.
Got it.
And that brings up the program details page. The program details page has information about this particular episode, information about upcoming airings, and then the key piece here is the remote record piece, which is really just very simply these two buttons, record this show or record this series. And so I will click on record this show.
Now, did you have to load anything on this machine?
No, I did
This is just
not.
a web.
This is just a web interface, exactly. And I've received my success confirmation back from the Media Center PC.
All right, that was too fast.
If you look
over here
right.
now, you'll see the show is now.
Yeah, so Celebrity Justice is now showing up
Okay.
on our Media Center PC that
Okay.
is scheduled to record. Now, in the event that, as I said, you know, multiple users in a household could be mapped to this Media Center PC, or maybe I've forgotten something that I've already scheduled. So I'll go ahead and close this program details window. And now I will choose to schedule another show at the same time. So I'm clicking on Street Smarts here. It's just also scheduled to air at 12:30. And I will say record this show.
And just so you know, it's not going to get a conflict because we have a two-tuner media center.
And that's a good thing to point out. I'll record a third show. So
Yep.
if you do have a dual tuner Media Center PC, you can obviously schedule two shows simultaneously and you will not get a conflict.
Right.
So now on my third request, as I find a third show that starts, how about Divorce Court? So now I'm scheduling a third request. And at this point, I should get the conflict message. And so this is telling me that I have a program conflict, that there are already two shows scheduled at this time. It's giving me both the show titles and the airtime of those shows. So Street Smarts and Celebrity Justice were already scheduled. And as I said, you can choose to either cancel this new request that I was trying to send, or I can go ahead and send the request and override one of those previously scheduled recordings. So at this point, I'll just go ahead and cancel this particular request. And it then tells me that this recording request has been canceled and the previous shows will continue to be scheduled to record. Now I can also, if I move forward here a bit, I can also go to a series. And I'm just going to jump forward in time a little bit to go find a series. So just using the pull-down menu in the left-hand navigation, I can jump forward in time. And this reloads my guide. And so let's say that I want to record Roseanne as a series. So I can click on Roseanne at 3 p.m. And now I will say record this series. And I'm clicking on the record series button.
Now, if you go over here, you're going to see where it is.
And so this has been successfully scheduled. And we can now see that the series is recorded here. And then the last piece that's really kind of a nice feature is I can also click on scheduled recordings, which is available both on the program details page on my success messages, and it's also available in the left-hand navigation side panel of the TV guide, or TV grid rather, for MSN. And what this does is this shows me all of the requests that I have sent through Remote Record. So it will show both the shows that are coming up to be recorded, and it will also show me pending requests. So one of the things that we do is in the event that you know, the network connection is a little slow, or maybe your media center has gone into hibernation mode and so it's not taking requests, that we have a timeout limit on sending the request so that the user doesn't hang out too long waiting.
Right.
And at that point, we actually move the request into pending, and we'll retry sending that request every 15 minutes, either for 24 hours or until the airtime of the requested show has passed, whichever comes first.
Okay.
So if for some reason the request doesn't go through on the first try within about 7-8 seconds, it'll move into pending and it'll get picked up in that retry.
Interesting. Now, if I know you have Media Center and MSN request, and I have it as well, can I email you a show and say, hey, you should subscribe to this show? And
Not at this time,
Okay.
but yeah, not for V1, but definitely some things that we're looking at, and we got a lot of great feedback from our beta users too, in terms of thinking about ways that we can kind of expand this out and sort of build some more community around it.
great.
I just want to add a couple things in terms of what's really going on here. The service, as we built it, really leverages a lot of Microsoft technology. First of all, we are using the MSN Entertainment web portal.
Okay.
So that's just where anybody can go to view TV listings. So that was an asset that actually this group, the MSN TV group, developed the application for.
What's the
TV
URL
listing.
for that? I'm not...
It's tv.msn.com.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's /guide for the TV listings
Forward
guide.
TV
section.
/guide.
Forward TV
Correct.
excuse me.
We'll link to it.
And anybody can go there and browse their TV listings and search for shows, but it's only if you have an MCE PC and set up MSN Remote Record that you can then schedule shows to record
Got
with
it.
the guide. So that was one asset. And then underneath the covers, we're using the messenger service in order to communicate, the MSN messenger service in order to communicate between the media center and and whatever laptop or desktop you're on using your web browser
And that's actually
to
Messenger
schedule
alerts.
shows.
Okay.
Right, so Messenger alerts, and then of course Passport for signing into Passport. And then we worked very closely with the Media Center and eHome team as well to leverage the APIs, the Click to Record API, which actually is what enables them to schedule the show on the MCE machine and record it.
Got it. So how do you guys, you're down here in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the eHome team is up in Redmond, because we
Everyone-
interviewed them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, everybody that we worked with on this project, well, the remote record team is based here.
Mhm.
Our lead developer actually is based in Boston
Oh, wow.
currently, while his wife finishes her MBA. And so that was one sort of an extension of our team. And then, like
So how do
Jeff-
you guys work together? Do you have a lot
actually,
of virtual meetings?
A lot of conference calls and virtual meetings, leveraging various online tools, SharePoint, of course, for sharing documentation. But we really didn't find that many issues with that. I mean, we worked, like I said, closely with the entertainment team, the customer support services team,
Right.
Messenger alerts and Passport, as well as members of the Media Center OS team, and just leveraging the phone and the email a whole lot, but it worked really well.
I'd
Very
just-
cool.
Just say too, this is a great example of what MSN TV is really about. MSN TV's charter is bringing MSN services to the living room for Microsoft. And as you may be aware, MSN's charter is about services. It's the services division for Microsoft.
Yep.
So and MSN TV is about bringing those things into the living room and leveraging the huge array of technology and infrastructure that MSN and Microsoft have already built
Right.
in order to get that.
How does it compare to what the competition's doing?
It's a great question.
Because the competition's like three miles down the road,
3
right?
miles. Well, the big competition in this space is TiVo, right?
Yeah.
And their DVR.
That's who I was
service.
talking about, because
Yeah.
I have a TiVo at home, too.
Yeah, TiVo's had a remote scheduling service. I don't know exactly when they launched it, but they've had it for some time. We have some, I think, advantages in how we've implemented our service over what TiVo's done, and that's particularly around the responsiveness of the system. It's basically a real-time system what we've set up. When you schedule a recording, it communicates via messenger, and within seconds your recording is set. So the show could have even already started, and you can say, I want to record that, and it'll start the recording mid-show.
That's a good point.
With TiVo's implementation, it depends. If you're on a dial-up connection, your requests are sort of put in a queue, and then your box has to dial up and see if you have any scheduled requests to retrieve.
Right.
That happens, I believe, once a day when it's dial-up, but you may be able to do that more often.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
my box was set for 2 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, and they do also have broadband capability, in which case I think it can check as frequently as every 15 minutes. on the TiVo, and that's available on the TiVo Series 2, I believe, not on the older versions of the
Yeah, there were
TiVo service.
the media. I talked to the media center team, and we talked a lot about the two products are really not competitive because you know, you're in a different price category, but you're totally in a different feature world. I mean, you can run Excel and Photoshop and games on this, where on your TiVo, all you can do is PVR kind of features.
It's absolutely true. I think that's absolutely true, yeah. Definitely a different price category, but to the extent what you're looking for is a DVR, a digital video recorder, and you're using your media center for that, I think there is a valid, point of comparison, and I think you do want the DVR service and implementation on your media center to be competitive and with what's being offered. And this was a key part of that. I mean, it was a very desirable feature. It's a very valuable feature for users. It's one they were requesting, and it's one we really wanted to deliver to the media center users to add more value to that platform. So.
It's reminding me of this meeting.
Yeah. That's okay.
we go straight for the interruptions. So anything else cool to show me on the system?
Well, I think we talked a little bit about MSN TV and what we've done with Media Center. We've done other work with Media Center that I think might be worth mentioning. We launched an application in their online spotlight. I don't know if you're familiar with online spotlight in Media Center.
Yeah, we got a demo of that with Charlie Owen.
Yeah. So the MSN TV team also delivered an application called MSN TV Today, which is bringing video content from MSN to the online spotlight forum within Media Center, and allowing people to create playlists of short-form video content and play that back using their remote control in their Media Center. And so that's content that's aggregated by MSN from leading content providers. So it's coming from Discovery Channel, NBC, MSNBC, Fox Sports, various other content providers that MSN.
Now, is this
aggregates.
HD content or is this normal NTSC?
This is actually streamed video content.
Okay.
So it's similar in quality to what you would get if you went to MSN.com and used the MSN video service. In fact, it's the same content that's used for the MSN video service.
So probably 300 or 600 kilobits per second.
It's about 300. I don't think they've moved to 700, but I think there's some, they're moving in that direction. But I think today it varies. I think it's mostly in the 300.
So around VHS quality video. Yeah, that's what we do on Channel 9. We take this nice 4 gigabyte tape and crunch it down to 20 megabytes.
So you just crunch it down.
Yeah,
it's a great example of that.
I can't wait until we have super broadband or something new.
I think it's a great example of another way that we're bringing MSN content and services to the living room and leveraging other Microsoft platforms in the living room to do that. That's something we're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a whole community of video bloggers out there now who are creating video content with camcorders like these and are putting them up for people to download. And that's really fun stuff.
That's great. It's really a rich history too within MSN TV. We originated with the Web TV acquisition. We're the direct descendant, product group descended directly from that acquisition. But over the years, there's just been a huge amount of talented people and technology that's come out of the group and spun off.
So were you guys on the Web TV team, or were you at Microsoft?
I started with Microsoft about 6 years ago, so it was after the acquisition, but we were still a subsidiary. We were called Web TV as a subsidiary.
Were you working over on Lytton Avenue then?
I worked originally in Mountain View. I didn't work in we had already moved down to Palo Alto, but we had offices in Mountain View before we consolidated to the Mountain View.
I used to work right down the street from where the Web TV offices were. So. Very cool.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of groups and technology that came out of that original core group that have spun off into all the different living room plays that Microsoft is betting on, basically, in the living room space. So some of the hardware team is now working on Xbox hardware. There's a lot of folks that have moved over to the MS TV team, and they're working on platforms for network operators to deliver linear TV and VOD services. In addition, a number of the folks who work on MCE TV features, the DVR features, the guide features, the guide delivery infrastructure for the data, a lot of that work is being done by folks who were originally involved and
That-
came in through the Web TV group.
Now I have
So-
one of the Comcast boxes. Is that done by MSN TV as well? Or is that a completely separate group? Because Microsoft made the software that runs on the new Comcast DVR.
Foundation Edition, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually coming from the MSTV team,
Okay.
and they're right across the street from us. And
Got it.
they're actually in the home and entertainment division. So while MSN TV is really about delivering services, MSN Services to deliver, MSTV is really focusing on delivering a platform to network operators for them to deliver enhanced services. So the MSTV platform, as they get more traction, and they're starting to get a lot of traction, is a very attractive platform for us to look to be able to drive MSN services further into the living room. So we're looking and evaluating those opportunities ongoing.
And
Yeah.
a lot of those people also came out of MSN TV, out of the old Web TV.
Yeah. That's why I was asking, because it's hard to keep all these groups separate.
No.
Very hard. That's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it a little bit. 'Cause it is so, there's so many things going on, and it is fairly confusing, especially even the names, MSTV and MSN TV. Some people might not even know there's two different groups.
Yep.
One's a services group, and one's really a platform group. So.
And you're both on the same campus down here. So.
They sound those TV guys.
So,
down
up in Redmond, it's like,
Mountain View.
oh, those guys down in Silicon Valley are doing something else.
Yeah, so it's, I think it's exciting stuff. It's been really exciting to see the MSTV guys really start to get traction with their IPTV initiatives. You may have seen they recently announced a deal with SPC to deploy IPTV system later this year, and I think it's deploying later this year.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting for us. We've watched them for years, and they've been working on getting interactive TV and TV platform delivered to network operators. And it's just really exciting to see it coming to fruition.
Yeah.
So,
How do we convince normal people that this is useful? That the Windows Media Center and and putting a computer in your living room is useful.
I think
Because that seems to be a big roadblock, for a lot of people. It's like, I don't want another computer in my house.
I think that's a great question, and I think it, in my mind, it comes down to being an simple, easy to use experience for the end user. They probably also are going to want a smaller form factor of some sort. So you're probably familiar with the extender product,
Mm-hmm.
which is one way to bring the MCE services to the living room without actually having to bring the whole MCE PC to the living room, which I think is an exciting direction.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to set it up. So you can have a media center in your office hooked up to the internet and hooked up to your TV lines or cable box or whatever, and then use either wireless or use an Ethernet network to deliver the video out to a TV with a Xbox extender.
Yeah.
Which is just really software that runs on Xbox.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So you know more.
Yeah.
You know.
I've looked into it.
You looked into it. Well, they have.
Now I'm trying to convince the wife. So.
They have a standalone extender, but yeah, Xbox also has software that you can use to make Xbox an extender, which is exciting as well. And that's really just an RDP client running on the extender device, which is extending the Media Center desktop into your living room, so you can enjoy the whole range of Media Center services.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, certainly the stuff you guys are doing sure shows off the power of having a computer in the living room, because now I can get into my PVR from anywhere in the world and and set it up and really add some value to my TV watching experience. Where if I have just a VCR or DVD player, I can't do this. Right?
That's absolutely true. And there's a whole. It's a nascent market, but it's an emerging market, if you will, of digital media receivers that are basically enabling people to use their home networks as media networks and bring media from the PC, whether it's a Media Center PC or just a regular desktop PC, bring that media to their TVs in their living room. And in fact, MSN TV, the primary way that we can deliver services to the living room today is through our own set-top box, MSN TV Internet Media Player, which we launched in October. And that box really extended the capabilities of the traditional MSN TV receiver into this digital media receiver space. It added broadband to the box. It added home networking capabilities to the box. It allows you to not just access to internet content and enjoy it on your TV, but also other media content that you have around your house.
Right. When are we going to see a real, true remote? Because you're really close, right? You can control the box, but you can't see the video, right? When are we going to be able to see all the video, no matter where you are in the world? Or I guess Orb Networks, right, has a system where you can see the streaming video that's stored on your media center already. But when are we going to see a really nicely integrated, like a tablet PC that if I have it on in front of me on my coffee table, can actually remotely control the media center, and then if I take that tablet PC to Starbucks or on the road, like here at my shop, I can get to all the video content that I've recorded.
It's a great vision, actually. I mean, it's sort of the extender vision, but extending it beyond the living room, right? So you're saying, oh, with extender, I can do that within my house, but you're saying, why can't I do that across the country, right? Why can't I just have my tablet and I taped my favorite show, maybe it's Jag or whatever you like to watch, and I want to watch it from my hotel room in New York City, and I live in California. I think eventually it'll get there. I think one of the big challenges with that is going to be bandwidth. The upload bandwidth from your home, getting back out to the internet, is something that is expensive. I think it's controlled by the broadband providers, and they use that. They charge more for upload bandwidth because folks who are buying a lot of upload bandwidth are running websites, and they know that there's a lot of value in being able to do that in terms of running a commercial operation. So I think you'd be somewhat constrained in trying to develop that application today because of that, unless folks were really willing to pay for very expensive uploading
or have a machine do streaming that's compressed, down to
you could really compress it
per second. Or
but usually you lose quality in that process as well. But something like an extender, I don't know that there's anything technology-wise that's keeping that from happening, in the sense of it's really a remote desktop client, and remote desktop you can use from across the country. I've done it, lots of times. So from a technology perspective, I think it's not such a crazy idea, a crazy dream. I think it's more of a bandwidth constraint that you would be dealing with in terms of just executionally making that work well enough to make it
if
compelling.
there's a business model, it'll work.
Yeah,
business model. That's another way you could say it.
Yeah.
I think that would be an exciting extension. I think from the remote record service that we've developed here, as we're looking, right now we're just evaluating the service we just launched. We just launched it in February, but we are looking to the future. Like where can we take this? What can we do next? That's really going to take it to the next level. And I think there's two kind of clear directions, although we don't have fixed plans yet to announce or anything, but there's two pretty clear directions, and that's global and mobile, is the way I would describe it. And global is about taking this service to other countries. Right now it's available in the US and Canada, and that's what we just launched, but MCE is in lots of other countries around the world. And really,
I hear there's a few people overseas.
UK, Germany, France.
There's a billion people in China, right?
Oh, you're just talking about people, not about where MCE is.
A few people might buy our products.
Yeah. So I mean, MCE is definitely taking their product into the
it's really easy to
marketplace.
forget, There's other markets in the world.
So even when we
That's why I stay up till 5 in the morning and remind myself of that.
Even when we launched the service, we got a lot of feedback. I know Christy reads a lot of the feedback we get, and I read it when I can as well. And we got a lot of feedback. Folks were like, when am I going to get this? I'm in Germany or I'm in the UK. And
we actually had a lot of international interest just through the beta program. We actually launched a public beta in November, shortly before Thanksgiving. So we had a public beta running for about 3 months before we went live. And we had
How do you get on, if somebody's really passionate, how do they get on the beta programs?
With the beta program, it was through Beta Place that we ran the program. And we did do a nomination process. Pretty much anybody that was in the US and Canada and actually had a Media Center 2005 PC was approved. It was the only reason we were doing a nomination. Just because we did have Media Center 2004 users who were interested, but of course couldn't use the product because the APIs aren't there. And we did have a lot of international interest. Big interest from the UK, big interest from Germany, as well as a number of other countries. And so, that showed us that people are hungry to use this and are definitely interested in the product. And one thing to point out is that even though the product right now is really US and Canada only, That's really for the guide, because we're using the TV listings provider information is for US and Canada. But if you are traveling abroad and you are, on business in Germany or France or the UK or China, you can still go to tv.msn.com and go to the guide and still send requests to your media center at home.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then I was going to, besides global, the other direction I think that's a pretty clear benefit that we would love to explore further is mobile. What I mean by that is, why should you have to have a laptop and a computer in order to schedule some recordings? You should be able to do it from your cell phone or whatever you happen to have in your pocket that's connected to the internet. And so I think there's a huge value there for users to be able to just have that additional flexibility.
Yeah.
We'd love to pursue that further as well.
So are you predicting there will be a smartphone version?
I'm not announcing anything. We don't have any fixed plans.
She's over there going, "Oh my God, what's he?"
I'm just talking about a little vision.
That's why they have the PR person over here.
You know what? I get to learn about all of that. What these guys are doing.
So I'll caveat it one more time. While we have nothing to announce at this time, I think there's some directions that really make sense for this product in terms of extending the functionality, and we're evaluating it. And we did just launch this service, and we are looking at the feedback, trying to learn from what we've just done, looking at the competition, and evaluating, where to go next, and working closely with the Windows team on that as well. So I think but there's a lot of exciting directions you can take this technology.
One thing I've noticed in my own life is I'm using a tablet PC, and when I'm on the couch watching TV, I'll have the tablet PC in tablet mode, not in laptop mode, for reading, because I'm reading when I'm sort of watching TV. But I do that. But also, it would be neat to have an interface that controls the TV, on the tablet from the pen. So that's my own little plug.
I love it. I love it.
Because using a pen and using a tablet mode PC makes a lot more sense in the home, in the living room, than using a keyboard.
And you could have a very rich listings guide application on a monitor, and with a pen you could very quickly move to different shows. And I like it. It's a good idea.
Cool. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. Anything else?
Well, just one other thing I was going to point out. I mean, since you asked about, with the beta program, if people were really interested in remote record, one of the other things that we did, knowing that, the TV listings grid on MSN is available to anyone, but of course not all of those users are going to have a Media Center PC. So I've actually signed out and signed in with a different Passport account now. And if I click on record this show at this time, I actually get an upsell message, so that we're trying to, help spread the word about the remote record service. And so we're messaging both to, in this first paragraph here, users who have a Media Center Edition PC, 2005 Edition PC at the home, and they can actually send themselves an email reminder, so when they get home they can install the application, since it does have to be installed on the Media Center PC. And then for those who don't have Media Center 2005, we have a message for them as well with a link over so they can get more information. So we're trying to pick them up there. If the user is on their Media Center PC when they go to the guide and hit record for the first time, it'll actually take them directly to the setup start page, so they can just do the install and the registration right there.
Very cool.
So if you're on your Media Center PC, you can navigate to the TV listings grid on MSN, and that's one way you can access the application in order to set it up. Another way is if you go into Online Spotlight, we can actually show you that over here. If we go back to Online Spotlight in the Media Center application here, you'll see we have a little remote record, MSN remote record application. And it's not to use the remote record service so much as to promote the remote record service and give people information they need about setup and registration. So if you're on your Media Center 2005 PC and you want to get this MSN remote record service, we'd encourage everyone just to navigate right into Online Spotlight and install the client application and get set up.
Very cool.
And start using it today.
Sounds good.
Install now. There it is. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.